Hello. Today is day 48, and our intention is to find hope. So let's get started. Hello. Welcome to day 48 of our intentions instead of resolutions yoga. And today we're going to focus on finding hope. Now, life is not a continuum. Things don't progress on a straight line. We have ups and downs and ups and downs, and we find ourselves having to set ourselves back a little bit in our planning and how to deal with them. So the first step should always be having hope. But once you've moved through a few cycles of life, it becomes a little bit difficult to have that hope. So we find ourselves needing to find it. And that's what this practice is focused on today. And we're going to start with kind of a meditation, and you get to move at your own pace. And it involves just deep breathing with our eyes closed. Now I'll guide you, but you don't have to breathe at the same times. I would like you to just focus in on the deep breathing in and imagine that you're breathing in hope and then breathing out any negativity. So we're going to do this nice and slow. And again, make sure your eyes are closed. Have your hands resting on your knees. You can either have your palms down or your palms up. I'm going to choose to have my palms up today. We want to make sure our back is nice and straight. So have the crown of your head reaching up for the ceiling. And close your eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. Hold it at the top. And then slowly breathe out through your nose. Now go at your own pace, breathing in, washing yourself in hope, and breathe out any negativity that you might be holding on to. Breathe in and breathe out. Try to cleanse your mind. Allow the hope to take hold. And breathe out any negativity. One last deep breath in. And breathe out. Now slowly open your eyes. And now we're going to head to all fours into table position. So make sure you have good alignment. You want to make sure that your calves and your shins are like railroad tracks, and that your knees are underneath your hips, your hands are underneath your shoulders, and we're going to take a deep breath in and drop our belly and go into cow pose. And then breathe out and curving our spine into cat. Breathe in, really dig into your fingers and the tops of your feet, and breathe out into cat. Breathe in for cow and breathe out for cat. Now we're going to have a neutral spine, and we're going to move our hands out and forward just a little bit. Curl our toes under and peel our hips up, down dog. And we're going to pedal it out for a couple of seconds. And then anchoring that left heel to the mat, we're going to lift our right leg up high, bend that knee, and bring it in and up to a low lunge. Now, while we're here in low lunge, we're going to look forward, take a deep breath in and out. Make sure you're light on your fingers. You don't want to be crashing into your fingers or your palms. We want to be using all of our muscles to help us hold this pose without relying on crashing into our hands. Now we're going to step up just a bit. Make sure your left foot is flat on the mat and your toes are facing off at an angle. Keep a deep bend in this front knee. And with your left hand, sweep it up and over and back into Warrior Two. Now you can make an adjustment to get your feet in the right place, but you want to have a deep bend in this front leg. Then we're going to place our left hand on the small of our back and reach up and back with our right hand, peaceful warrior. Then we're going to cartwheel all the way back to that low lunge. Place our left hand on the mat and reach up and with our right arm into a twist. Then lower that hand, step back with our right foot into plank pose and lower slowly to your belly. Rise up to cobra and back down. Breathe in as you rise up to cobra and breathe out as you lower your head to the mat. Now curl your toes under and push up back to that plank pose. Try to have a doming effect in between your shoulders. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and peel your hips up and back to that down dog. We're going to step out a little bit again and then anchor that right heel to the mat. Lift that left leg up to the sky. Bend that knee and bring that foot up into a low lunge on the other side. Again, keeping lightness on those fingers. Take a deep breath in, looking forward and out. Now step up just a tad. Make sure that right foot is flat on the mat. Your toes are facing off to the opposite corner in your room. And this time, leading with your right arm up and over into Warrior Two. Make any adjustments that you need to be able to get a really good deep bend in that front leg. And then reaching up and back with that left hand. Right hand's on the small of your back. Peaceful warrior. And then cartwheel back to that low lunge. Looking forward, keeping lightness on these fingers. Place the right hand on the mat and reach up with that left hand into a twist. Now lower that hand, step back with that left foot, plank pose. Now we're going to go up into down dog, but then stepping up to the front of our mat to a forward fold. We're going to grab our elbows with our hands and just rock back and forth to the right and to the left and back again, going nice and slow. Then, keeping a generous bend in our knees, we're going to place our left hand on the mat right in front of our feet. And as if we're pulling back a bow with our right hand, we're going to straighten that right leg as we lift that right arm up to the sky. And then lower, replace the left hand with the right, deep bend in our knees again, pulling back that bow with our left hand, straightening our left leg, and reaching up to the sky with that left hand. And then lowering it. Then we're going to lift up halfway, lower, and sweeping our arms up and overhead and bringing our hands down in front of our hearts in prayer position. And we're going to keep our eyes closed and stand here for a moment. Really dig into your mat with your feet and imagine that you're trying to rip your mat in half. So we're doing a modified mountain. Suck your navel to your spine. Imagine that a strong wind could come through the room at any moment and you wouldn't budge. You're digging down into the ground so hard that nothing could knock you over. And then release the hands and back down into a forward fold. Now we're going to make our way to our backs. So you can go down any way, which way. You can go to your knees first and swing your legs to either side. But we want to hold our hands out in front, and just for a little variation, we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers, point our toes, and lower slowly to our backs. Then grab your knees and hug them into your chest. And we're going to hold on to this right knee and lift our left leg up to the sky. Now you want to make sure that your back and your shoulders are in complete contact with the mat. Now we're going to flex both feet and then point both feet, flex both feet, and point both feet. And then lower that left leg to the mat. Go nice and slow, just to make a little contact with our abdominal wall. Now grab that right knee with your left hand, scoot your hips a little bit to the side, and lower that right leg across your body and over to the left side. Reach forward with that right arm and look towards your right hand. Supine twist. Breathe deep. And come back to center. Grab both knees. This time, hold on to the left knee and raise that right foot to the sky. Make sure your shoulder blades are in contact with the mat. And we're going to flex and point our feet. Flex and point. And again, flex and point. And then lower that right leg to the mat. Nice and slow. Now go ahead and scoot your hips over just a bit and allow that left leg to fall across. Reach off to the left with your left hand and turn to look in that direction. Take a deep breath in and out, and then come back to center. And we're going to end this practice in Savasana. We want to have our left hand on our heart and our right hand on our stomach. Allow all your muscles to relax as if you're just melting into your mat. And remember, the potential for hope comes from within. So we really want to have positivity always. But when things seem impossible, hope will help us make changes so that we can be happy. So I hope you're getting a lot of benefit from this year-long yoga practice. We're almost done. There's only 4 more weeks. And I might do something for New Year's Eve just to celebrate the completion. But I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.